I'm sorry, you're saying there's a multiverse?
Hey everyone, this is James. How you all doing? And welcome to my next top 10 list. And I'm going to be sharing you guys my top 10 most and least favorite superhero movies. Now, as you guys know, I love superheroes. I watch a lot of superhero movies in my life. There's plenty of good superhero movies, and there's some pretty bad ones, but there's tons of good ones. So for today, I'm going to be talking about what are my 10 most favorite superhero movies, and then next I'll be doing my least favorite superhero movies. So I thought, let's do this, and I want to let you guys know that these are just my opinions. I'm not saying these are facts. These are just like my favorite superhero movies, and if you agree or disagree, that is totally fine. I will love to hear what your top 10 favorite superhero movies are. All right, so before we start the top 10 list, I got a few honorable mentions. And my honorable mentions are Wonder Woman, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, Kick-Ass, Guardians of the Galaxy 1, Batman Begins, Logan, and X-Men Days of Future Past. Those are the superhero movies that couldn't make it up to this list, but they're very good movies. So, but I think these 10 superhero movies are my personal favorites of mine. So, all right, let's start with number 10. Number 10 is a tie between Hellboy and Hellboy 2: The Golden Army. I recently just watched them, and I really love these movies. Ron Perlman is fantastic as Hellboy. I love Doug Jones as Abe. I like Selena Miller, I think that's her name, as Liz. I also like Professor Broom, played by the late John Hurt. Those two movies are great. This is like the first superhero comic book movie I watched that isn't Marvel or DC. This one is from Dark Horse, and I really love these two movies. They're very good films. The action scenes were great, and they have all these like paranormal creatures that Hellboy goes up against. They're so good. I love them. The second one, I heard it was much better than the first one, which I agree. When I watched Hellboy 2: The Golden Army, I thought it was a great film, and it was actually a great sequel, and it was even better than the first one. Even though I love the first one, but I thought Hellboy 2 is a great sequel. So I love the first two Hellboy films. Number 9 is The Incredible Hulk. Hulk smash! So yeah, The Incredible Hulk is the second film of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. This one stars Edward Norton as Bruce Banner and the Hulk. This movie, I also watched it, and it was a lot of fun. It was actually has a lot of action, and I thought the Hulk looks pretty cool, even though the only nitpick I have is that he's really not that colorful enough. But he still did a very good performance, and there were some like really like cool action sequences, especially when the Hulk goes up against Abomination, and that one was completely epic. And this is actually like a great Hulk movie. After when I see what Marvel has done to the Hulk, which was stupid, they just make him a joke. But in this movie, when they took it seriously, that's what I really like about these old superhero movies. They don't do like all these like over the top jokes like what Marvel is doing. That's why I was like not really on par with them. But the older ones, like the Incredible Hulk, that one was a lot of fun. And when Marvel took it seriously, that's where it gets interesting. So, if you were disappointed by the last Hulk movie that came out in 2003, this one is actually the superior film in terms of live action adaptations of the Hulk. So go check out The Incredible Hulk if you have not seen it. Number 8, speaking of incredible, is The Incredibles. The Incredibles is my favorite Disney Pixar film. I love this movie. It's also one of my favorite animated superhero films. I love the concept of like a family superhero team, and it's kind of like the Fantastic Four, but it does like way better than the Fantastic Four. I love the characters like Mr. Incredible, Elastigirl, Violet, Dash, Jack. I also love Frozone. Where's my super suit? And Syndrome's a great villain. He's actually like one of the best villains in Disney and Pixar history. He's like he wants to be Mr. Incredible's sidekick, but Mr. Incredible rejected him and then he became a villain. So, but then like despite how evil Syndrome is, he's still like a fanboy to Mr. Incredible, despite all the terrible things he's been doing to all the superheroes. The animation is great. I love the animation. The music is fantastic. It was like something like James Bond. Has some great action sequences. A very good story about Mr. Incredible's midlife crisis, and I have seen the sequel, The Incredibles 2, which I like, but I mostly preferred the original movie because that one feels more like a great superhero film. Not to say The Incredibles 2 is bad. Like I like the second Incredibles, but nothing will beat the first one. The original Incredibles will always be a great film in my opinion. So I love The Incredibles. It's a great family superhero movie. It's the Fantastic Four done better. Number 7 is Batman Returns. The first Batman from Michael Keaton is a good movie. I enjoyed it, but Batman Returns I think is a great film as well. Michael Keaton still kills it as Batman, and I also like Danny DeVito as the Penguin. I love Michelle Pfeiffer as Catwoman, and she's so hot. I love her costume. She is so stunningly beautiful. I like the movie actually takes place like during Christmas, because I know some people will say, oh, it's not really a Christmas movie, but it is a Christmas movie. It takes place in Christmas, and that's cool because I love Christmas. Batman Returns, Tim Burton hasn't really been doing like a lot of like sequels to his movie, but I think this is actually his the only exception that he does. And Batman Returns is a very good Batman movie, and I was so happy to see Michael Keaton return as Batman in The Flash, because Michael Keaton is my favorite live action Batman. Every time I see him as Batman, I'm like, no, that's not Michael Keaton, that is Batman. So yeah, a very good movie, and Catwoman, like I said, is super hot, and Michelle Pfeiffer did a great job in this movie, and yeah, Danny DeVito was great as the Penguin. So yeah, I love Batman Begins. Great movie, great sequel. Our number 6 is Kick-Ass 2. Now, I know a lot of people were not a fan of the first movie. Even fans of the first one didn't really like this movie. But I do. I understand why people didn't like it, but I love it. I enjoy Kick-Ass 2. I think it's an underrated sequel that I feel like it really needs to be appreciated. And I like Aaron Taylor-Johnson as Kick-Ass, and I like Chloe Grace Moretz as Hit Girl, even though she doesn't do a lot in this movie as much as she does in the first one. But with the scenes with her is great. And I love they what was it like they introduced like new superheroes like Justice Forever, led by Colonel Stars and Stripes, played by Jim Carrey, and you have this guy Chris, who was Red Mist in the first movie, wants to get his revenge on Kick-Ass when he becomes MF. I'm not gonna say it, but you know what his supervillain name is, because I don't know why would he come up with a name like that, but he wants to get his revenge on Kick-Ass for killing his father from the last movie, and he rounds up like all these like a super villain team, and then you have like the war with the heroes and the villains. It was actually really good. It was funny. So yeah, I really do enjoy Kick-Ass 2. Is it perfect? No, it has its problems, but I do had a good time watching this movie. If you guys are a fan of the first movie, I would say give Kick-Ass 2 another chance. Number 5 is Captain America: Civil War. This is my favorite film of the Captain America trilogy. This is where the heroes, Captain America and Iron Man, turn on each other, and this movie is great. And this is where they introduce Black Panther for the first time, played by the late Chadwick Boseman, rest in peace. And they brought Tom Holland's Spider-Man in his first debut in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. The fight scenes in the airport was great. And it does have pretty good laughs, but it doesn't ruin the movie like, mostly what Marvel's doing right now, which I don't appreciate. But the whole film is just really good to watch. I watched this movie like over like 10 times after when it came out in theaters, and then when I downloaded the movie, and then I watched it on Disney Plus. It was a great Captain America movie. All Captain America movies by Chris Evans are really good movies, but Civil War is arguably, in my opinion, is one of the best. I love Captain America Civil War. It's easily one of the greatest Captain America films. Number 4 is Superman 1978. Yeah, this is from my father because he loves Superman. He's a Superman fan. I also enjoy Superman. The movie is very dated just because it came out in the 70s. Yeah, it looks very cheesy, very dated, and the effects are dated, but I felt like this movie has a lot of charm of being a great Superman movie. Christopher Reeve will always be Superman, and he did a great job. I also like the actress who played Lois Lane. Hugh Grant as Lex Luthor, he did pretty good, and I love the John Williams score where it goes like duh, 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 duh. It's a great iconic theme song for a superhero movie. So this is one of the best Superman movies, along with Superman 2. And I know Superman 3 and 4 are not really great films, and Superman Returns is like I guess it's divisive. Same thing with Man of Steel, but the first Superman movie with Christopher Reeve is one of the best, and I love it. All right, number 3 is a tie between Avengers Infinity War and Endgame. I love the Avengers movies. They're very good movies, but I think of Infinity War and Endgame are the best. I love how they brought all the Avengers and the Guardians of the Galaxy to all team up to fight Thanos. And the Infinity War was more like a build-up for Thanos, how he's become like the big bad of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And then Avengers Endgame is where half of the heroes that survive, they had to time travel through all of the other past Marvel movies to get them the Infinity Stones, all the Infinity Stones, and bring everyone else back, and they fight Thanos for good. And to me, though, I do think Avengers Endgame is a great conclusion to the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and I felt like it's the final chapter, and it wrapped up so nicely. But Marvel's still going, and to be honest, their movies are kind of bombing, and they're not doing very well as they used to. But these two films are great. What the Russo brothers did was just fantastic. I love these movies. They're one of the best Marvel movies and one of the best superhero movies ever made. So yeah, I love these films. Number 2 is Spider-Man 2 with Tobey Maguire, sorry. Yeah. I love Spider-Man. Spider-Man 2 is a great superhero sequel as well. The first Spider-Man is fantastic. I love the first Spider-Man with Tobey Maguire. The second one, I thought it was one of the best superhero sequels ever made. I love how this movie deals with Peter Parker struggling of that he doesn't want to be Spider-Man anymore because he was losing his powers, and it just felt real. It just felt like he feels like a real person when he struggles. And Alfred Molina is great as Dr. Octopus, and the scene where Doc Ock's mechanical arms were attacking the nurses is so scary. It's something out of a horror movie. Now I know people are going to be like, well, this is a Spider-Man movie, can't go too dark on that, which that's bull crap, because Marvel can actually do a lot of dark stuff. Even other superhero movies have really dark moments, which makes it mature, and that's what I really like about them. And this is a great movie, and the fight between Spider-Man and Doc Ock is just really good. I love the fight between them, especially when they fight on top of the train. It was just awesome. And also not just the fight, but when Peter Parker saves the train when he has the mask off, was very creative, and it was awesome, and I really enjoyed it. So this is so far the best Spider-Man sequel of all time. I really love this movie. So if you're a Spider-Man fan, go check out this movie. So you will not be disappointed, and it's one of the best. All right, number 1. Now I know you guys are thinking, wait a minute, Avengers Infinity War and Endgame are at number 3, and Spider-Man 2 is on number 2? What's a superhero movie that is your number 1? I'll tell you what's my number 1 favorite superhero movie is Watchmen. Watchmen. This movie, I did a review for this movie. Go check it out on my channel. But Watchmen, I love this movie. Watchmen is the greatest R-rated comic book movie I've ever seen. I love all these characters. I love Rorschach, Silk Spectre, Night Owl, Dr. Manhattan, the comedian Ozymandias. This is one of those comic book movies where it feels like it does stay true to the Alan Moore graphic novel. I love like I said, the characters. The cast did a great job, especially Jackie Earle Haley and Malin Ackerman. They did all very good in this movie. I love the story. The action is very brutal and is very violent, and I like the grittiness of it. It's fantastic, and the music in the movie can be hit or miss, but it doesn't like distract the movie. It was actually very enjoyable to watch. Watchmen will always be a great masterpiece. It's easily one of the most underrated superhero movies, and I think people really need to talk about this movie more and give it a chance. So I really love Watchmen. This is the best superhero movie of all time. So please go check it out. Please give it a chance if you have not seen it. Please go watch it if you have HBO Max. Just watch this movie. You'll love it. All right, guys, so that is my top 10 most favorite superhero movies of all time. In my next video, I'm going to be talking about my least favorite superhero movies. Of which one do I think are like, not all of them are quite bad, but I just think they're not really like that great, while other ones are bad. But stay tuned for that one. But you guys tell me in the comments below, what did you guys think of my list? If you agree, if you disagree, what is your top 10 favorite superhero movies? Let me know in the comments below. And feel free to subscribe to my channel, hit that like button, and then turn on the notifications. This is James Hernandez, and just by saying, thanks for watching, everybody. Peace out.